Welcome everybody to the Latina Talks, Young Latina Talks, Cicero. Wow, I am super excited. I'm wearing my mask, but I'm smiling and I'm so giddy and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're here, whether you're watching from the comfort of your own home, supporting these young Latinas. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. Really quickly, I want to introduce myself. My name is Gabby Hernandez-Franch, and I am part of the Young Latina National Team. I am in a super privileged position to be here because a year ago, I actually was part of the very first Young Latina Talk event. It happened in Naperville, and now a year later, we're here in the town of Cicero. It's incredible seeing the amount of growth that this program has had, and I am so excited that we are here for the third time doing Young Latina Talks. This event would not be possible at all without the support of our team here working alongside us to make this event happen. I absolutely would love to thank the town of Cicero for allowing us to bring this event here. Without them and their support, we would not be able to do it. Thank you to Morton College, too, for supporting us and for being part of our team that allowed us to be here today. And specifically to J. Sterling Morton High School, District 201, for their immense support as well, which we are here actually in Morton East High School auditorium. I know you're at home, but we're here live in this event, and it is absolutely fantastic. I feel like I'm on Broadway up here because this auditorium is phenomenal. So thank you so much for District 201 for allowing us to be here, and all of our supporters. Thank you. As well, I would like to thank our partners, Oling Technology and Fic Factor Media, our main media company that allowed us to bring this event here. So thank you so much. Without your support, wow, I really am saying thank you so much, but really it deserves a lot of gratitude, and thank you for you all being here today. I also would love to introduce a couple of our sponsors who also have had a vision to support our young Latinas like we did. This event would not be possible without Cita Paniagua from Salon Impressions, thank you. Without BMO Harris Bank and their support, thank you very much, BMO. And REMAX Team Luis Ortiz for being so supportive in our event. Additionally, I'd love to thank Araceli Markowski, a realtor here in the area, for being supportive and wanting to support these young Latinas. Additionally, we have Marcel Avila Law Group, with their immense support and the United Scrap Metal. So thank you so much to our amazing sponsors that allowed us to be here. I also wanted to say a little story before we kind of kick off the event, was that a year ago when we were doing this, I actually was in the privileged position to be a project manager for this event. And initially, when we first did this, it was exciting to see that Young Latina Talks, while an event called LATINATalks was happening, this new inspiration that we hopefully will hear soon about transitioned into Young Latina Talks. And me, myself, being a young Latina, programs like this mean everything. It means that people that believe in us and people that see the potential that we have is incredible to feel as a young Latina. And now, being here a year later, this is the third I mentioned Young Latina Talks event. Our first one was in Naperville, and then our second one was in the East Coast, and now we're here in Cicero, back in the Midwest. And we have hopes that this program will continue to evolve and to transcend into different areas, in hopefully West Coast, hopefully South, and the North, and everywhere, and maybe even international. But I just want to say thank you for being here, for allowing us, all the young Latinas who are going to be participating. Congratulations, make this moment yours, and you can do it. You are our future, we are our future, and the future looks bright because of events like this and programs and empowering us to do it. So thank you so much, everybody. I also would love to introduce the founder of this beautiful program. Everything that always has been great, whether it's Rome, Greek, the empires, the pyramids, everything always started with one idea. One idea that takes hard work and execution and development and then brings and creates bigger things. This person is a creator and founder of this Young Latina Talks program. And her name is Jacqueline S. Ruiz. Not only is she a personal mentor of mine, my boss, but so many more things, but she really is a visionary. And I'm in a privileged position also to introduce her so you could hear a little bit about the story. Jacqueline S. Ruiz is a visionary social entrepreneur that has created an enterprise of inspiration. Her keen sense of service, coupled with the vision to bring good to the world, has led her to create 2 successful award-winning companies, 2 nonprofit organizations, published over a dozen books, close to, I believe, 20 or 21. She can let you know how many. Has created many products and has held dozens of events across the world in just the past decade. She is often referred to as the dream catcher, as her strategies have supported thousands of women, authors, and young ladies to achieve a life of significance. Jacqueline's quest to be a servant leader extends to every area of her life, and I can definitely attest to that. She has shared her inspiration in 4 continents and has aligned with some of the most powerful brands to elevate others. At her young age, she has achieved what most would not do in an entire lifetime. Being a cancer survivor sparked a sense of urgency to transcend and to serve. Born in Mexico City, Jackie S. Ruiz moved to the United States at the age of 14, where she learned English and German shortly after. From a very early age, Jackie devoured amazing literature. Authors like Dale Carnegie, Zig Ziglar, Napoleon Hill, and other business icons influenced her to launch her award-winning marketing agency and public relations, JJR Marketing, in 2016. She is a regular guest on TV and radio, including CBS World News, CBS Chicago, WGN-TV, ABC News, WGN Radio, and many, many more, and a recent feature in Forbes magazine, Inc.'s Business Insider, and more. Wow, absolutely amazing. Jacqueline believes that magics, yes, magics, a made-up word that means magic times 10, magics, is the inception of profit and impact. She is one of the few Latina sports airplane pilots in the United States and is about to embark on the historic air race of 20 women flyers that participated across the United States 91 years ago, including famous Amelia Earhart. Jacqueline believes that taking off is optional, but landing on your dreams is mandatory. With that, please help me introduce Jackie S. Ruiz to the stage. There's no better time to be remarkable. I wear many hats, and the most impactful one is the one with young Latinas. The passion, knowing that our words.
Oh, perfect. Great. So if I were flying at 5,000 feet right now and the engine quit on me, I would land the plane. There's no better time to be remarkable than today. There's no better time to elevate your voice, to create a life of significance. There's no better time to be authentic, to be congruent, to live with joy, and to serve others. I wear many hats, and the one that I enjoy the most is serving and elevating and supporting and believing in young Latinas. You see, sometimes you choose a mission, and sometimes that mission chooses you. These young ladies today have prepared for weeks. They have had the time to think about the message that they want to share with the world. It takes bravery. It takes strength to say, I have something to share with the world. This platform of Young Latina Talks would not be possible with partnerships like the town of Cicero, partnerships like with the one with Morton College and J. Sterling High School District. We could not be here today if we didn't have an entire team like Minuello Shuida training and coaching these amazing speakers to be the best they can be today. It wouldn't be possible without our National Director, Claudia Vasquez, who from the distance is helping, curating, facilitating conversations to make sure that everything happens. A special thanks to the rest of our incredible team, Scarlett Magaña, to Gaby Hernandez-French, whom you heard recently from, Enrique Mendoza from Allen Technology that has curating and producing these amazing events throughout the United States. Our MC today, whom I will have the privilege of introducing you a little bit later on, Janet Miranda, who's also helping us today, Daisy Jimenez, and so many individuals behind the organizations that I mentioned that have been day in and day out working together to make this come to life. In aviation, we say that there are 4 key ingredients to landing on your dreams. First one is to be the best pilot in command that you can, to prepare yourself. These young ladies today have prepared themselves. They've taken the right decision. They have believed that there is something bigger than themselves, and they're here as good pilots in command of their voices. Second, to prepare your aircraft. For many of these young ladies, that aircraft right now is their careers, their school, their dreams. How will we as a community help them prepare the most beautiful aircraft? Third, prepare for weather. There will always be things that take you away from your dreams. There will be times where you have to hold off on that storm. There will be times where you have to deviate your goal in order to get to your perfect destination. Know how to make those extemporaneous decisions. Know how to vibrate at the music of your own heart. And finally, to not allow external circumstances to fog your thinking. To not allow negative people, negative circumstances, where you came from, what you have or don't have, stop the music from your heart. So today, that is my message. To be extraordinary. There's no better time than today. And with that, I now bring you a very special message from a leader in our community that has been impacting thousands and thousands of people. She is the only news evening anchor at a major station, Lourdes Duarte, giving us a very special message today.
Go on.
Hey everybody, I'm Lourdes Duarte with WGN News. We hope you watch our 4 p.m. show. We are coming to you right now from our newsroom. This is actually where we edit all of the wonderful pieces that you see every day during our newscast. And I wanted to take a moment, I wanted to take a break from our work to congratulate you on all the wonderful work that all of you are doing. You make us so very proud. And I guess the message that I want to send to you, the inspirational message, is to keep at it. The harder you work, the better you do. So definitely don't give up. Keep working hard. And we're looking forward to seeing you sometime in the future. Congrats.
Thank you so much, Lourdes, for that very beautiful message. We all need to hear those encouraging messages that make an impact in our lives. Thank you. And now, we could not be more excited, more privileged, more blessed to be in this moment right now, to kick off an amazing program, to hear from our judges, but most importantly, to hear from the incredible speakers that are pouring and will pour their heart out so that you, watching from anywhere in the world, can feel the message. And before I do that, I want to introduce our amazing master ceremonies for today. This woman is also a very multifaceted individual. Her ideas, her wit, her grit have touched many, many, many families. She surrenders to the music in her heart and has become an amazing role model for young people and women alike. Her passion for autism, as the founder of the Autism Hero Project, is unmatched. You will feel the passion in her heart. You will feel every single word, because everything she does as a playwright, as a mother, as a wife, as a founder of the Autism Hero Project, and her many other roles as an actress, I can go on and on. She does it with pure, amazing heart. And today we have the privilege of having the blessing to have her here with us to inspire all of you and to introduce you to the young Latinas that will take the stage. So with that, remember that taking off is optional, landing on your dreams is mandatory. Please help me welcome Tamika Leche Morales. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for that warm welcome. I am so honored and so excited to be here today. Today is just another day in the making of history. I feel so privileged that just a year ago, it was the very first Young Latina Talks, and I was right here in the judges' seats myself. And it was such an honor and a privilege to be able to hear the young inspiration of our future literally share their impressions onto the world, and I felt completely inspired, and I was blown away at how well prepared they were, and all of the tidbits that I was able to take home with me that day, and that I personally have applied. Because it doesn't matter if you're young or old, we can all learn from one another, and today I'm super excited because you're gonna hear from some amazing young women who are here to make their impact in the world, and they have no idea, none, that what today will bring forth for them is literally going to change the trajectory of their lives. It starts with a story. It turns into a book. At least that's what happened to the first Young Latinas, right? And then it changes into a legacy. And today is that first step into changing lives, starting with their own and those who are going to be inspired today. So I am super excited to be your master of ceremonies. And I'm ready to hear from these beautiful young speakers, but before we do that, we have to especially give a big warm thank you to our judges who have signed on to listen to this beautiful inspiration for the day. And so with that, I'd like to introduce our very first judge of the day. Our first judge is Maria Ponzo Arias, and she is the first Hispanic to hold office here in the town clerk of Cicero. While she was born in Mexico City, Arias moved to Cicero as a child, graduating from Morton East High School, where we are literally presenting from today. That's awesome. She has been living in Cicero for over 34 years, and she has been working for the town since she served on the town board, first as a trustee and now as a town clerk. During her off time, she enjoys spending time with her familia, her husband, Jose Arias Sr., her 3 children, 2 grandchildren, and she really enjoys Polish food. So with that, I'd like to give a warm welcome and listen to a few words from our beautiful Maria. Do you want to go to the mic? Go ahead. Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for such a lovely, warm welcome. I want to welcome everyone that's here today and that's sitting in the comfort of their homes watching this live virtual. I gotta say, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be here today, not only as a judge, but like you said, as a former Mustang from Morton East High School. When Jacqueline approached me and mentioned, provided us information about this lovely event, I reached out to our town president, Larry Dominic, where without hesitation, he said, let's do it. Let's support our youth. Let's support these young Latinas. So that is one of the reasons why I'm so grateful to have the support of our town president and the board of trustees. And another thing, the wonderful relationship we have with our leaders at the various school levels. I reached out to Dr. Tim Truesdale. Again, without hesitation, he said, count me in. Morton College, Vanessa Parrish and her amazing team, without hesitation, count us in. These are the type of people we need to keep, leaders like them that care about our youth and support events like this. So I'm just, again, grateful for the Big Factor Foundation, for all the wonderful sponsors that were mentioned here earlier, for our wonderful judges here, and most importantly, for those courageous women out there, the participants of this event, that you're making this event possible. In my eyes, you guys are all winners. It takes a lot of courage. I continue to implore that don't let this be your last stop. Continue reaching for all your dreams. Nothing is impossible. Who would have thought many, many years later, I would be here serving as your town clerk, being a former alumni here of the Morton East High School. So again, girls, nothing is impossible. Reach for your dreams. We can do it. Sí se puede.
Thank you, Maria, for all of that row con power. I feel like I can do anything now, and I'm sure the girls do too. With that, I'd like to introduce our very next judge. Mrs. Alma Ortiz is a bank manager, vice president of BMO Harris Bank. She has 26 years of banking experience and is celebrating her 23rd year with BMO Harris Bank. She is a community ambassador through the United Way in supporting of St. Mary's Cell Church in Berwyn and St. Pius Parish in Pilsen, Chicago. Alma is an active member of the Berwyn Development Corporation, and she is also a volunteer of the Help a Stranger program within BMO Harris Bank. She's also a member of the Veteran Advisory Council and the Latino Alliance, and a member of enterprise resource groups also at BMO Harris Bank. And as of September 2020, she also became a board member of the Morton Foundation. She is a past board member of Break the Silence Foundation organization, where she served from August 2018 through April 2020, and a past board treasurer for 5 years of the Chicagoland Czech Community Center organization. She's also the past board president of the Berwyn Main Street Foundation, where she still remains today very well. She's got a long list of accomplishments. I love it. And then she's also influenced and launched her, let's just see. Sorry, double-paged. I apologize, Alma. Let's keep, that's the other side, double-sided. Forgive me. There it goes. She's also involved as a past board member of Pillars Community Services, the largest nonprofit provider of mental health and social services in the western and southwestern suburbs of Chicago. Alma has participated and graduated from Mujeres de ACE, the Hispanic Alliance Career Enhancement. Thank you so much, Alma, and welcome to this year's Young Latina Talks.
Thank you all. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to be here present and spend this time. It's a valuable time to be spent here. It's an important day for the young Latinas, as it is for everyone. I commend you for all the preparation, your agility, your courage, and all that you have already prepared for us. And I commend you and continue to support. I know you have great support system, as we were able to listen in today. And I feel privileged to be here as your judge, to be able to view all that you have accomplished, learn more about you. And I have a lot of gratitude for all the work that has been put together here by everyone here. Thank you all for moving us forward, especially during these times, and finding the ways to make things happen. I know it will continue on. You have all done great work already. I'm very proud of all the work. And as I'll echo, as previously Maria said, you are all winners already, and we just look forward to seeing all that you have in store for us now and in the future. Thank you all.
Thank you, Alma, for your beautiful words. With that, we'd like to introduce our very next judge, Zita Paniagua. Zita Paniagua is the owner of Salon Impressions, one of Cicero's long-standing beauty salons. She has been honored by the Town Board of Cicero for her longevity and growth in Cicero, having expanded the business to include 17 staff members, new clients every year, and a health food store that worked in conjunction with the salon. The Paniaguas were honored by the town for their hard work and for creating new jobs for the town, and congratulating them for raising 3 children who are forging their own successful paths in the world. And in November of 2019, Zita was a sponsor of Señorita Miss Cicero, a program to empower young women to have a voice in their community, serve, and inspire our youth. With that, we'd like to welcome Mrs. Zita Paniagua to the stage.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Cita Paniagua. Estoy muy orgullosa de estar aquí con ustedes y a ustedes, latinas, mujeres. Creo que tienen una gran oportunidad en este país para salir adelante, como la tuve yo, viniendo de México con ideas para ser alguien en este país. Y creo que lo he logrado, con tener un negocio donde tengo 17 familias que se mantienen. Me siento muy orgullosa y ustedes, cada una de ustedes, tienen el futuro por delante para hacer lo que ustedes quieran. Yo les he dicho a mis hijos, prepárense, estudien, porque si se preparan y estudian, van a ser alguien en esta vida. Y así ustedes tienen esa oportunidad de hacerlo, como mis hijos lo han hecho. 3 hermosos hijos preparados con una carrera. Y cada uno de mis clientes jóvenes que se sientan en mi silla para cortarles el pelo, les he dicho, prepárense, estudien. Sus padres trabajan muy duro para poder darles educación. Y a veces nosotros como latinos no entendemos que nuestros papás están trabajando día a día para que nuestros hijos sean más grandes que nosotros. Y ustedes tienen la oportunidad de prepararse, de ser alguien grande, de no quedarse allí pensando qué voy a hacer, qué no voy a hacer. Todo mundo tenemos una gran oportunidad y la tienen. Quiero que en estas palabras de una latina, orgullosa de ser latina, pueden agarrar un poquito de mi experiencia para que sean ustedes grandes en este país. Muchas gracias y estoy muy orgullosa de participar en este evento. Gracias.
Gracias, Cita, por tus lindas palabras. With that, we'd like to introduce our very next judge. Jessica Jaramillo Flores is an executive administrative assistant for the town of Cicero's clerk's office for 23 years. She has served as the board secretary of the Board of Education, District 201, for 14 years, and president of the Morton 201 Foundation for the last 5 years. She loves to volunteer and continues to be involved with her community at large. And with that, I'd like to give you guys a warm welcome to Jessica Jaramillo. Jessica, welcome to the stage.
Thank you for that welcome. When I heard the Young Latinas Talks program and all the accomplishments that Ms. Jacqueline Ruiz has achieved in her young life, I could not wait to see that effect on our ever-changing community. I thought, what a great opportunity that would help and support and encourage our young Latinas to make their mark on this world. I am so proud of all of you for taking the courage to make those first steps towards not only your future, but our futures with you in it. I look forward to it and to hear all your stories and to make sure in just a few minutes you're going to be seen, you're going to be heard. And now you can take this opportunity and this moment to make sure they know your name too. Thank you.
Woo! That was powerful. Did you hear that, our young speakers? You are about to be seen, be heard, and everyone will know your name. Beautiful words. Thank you, Jessica. With that, I'd like to introduce our very next judge. Our beautiful Diane Dominic is the wife of Cicero Town President Larry Dominic. Helping the Cicero community is her passion. As the director of the Cicero Senior Center, senior citizens are the heart of where she focuses a great deal of her efforts. In addition to helping the seniors of Cicero, she is also the editor of the Seniors of Cicero magazine. She was born in Lima, Peru, and immigrated to the United States at the age of 21. Coming to the United States, adapting to a completely different lifestyle was difficult for her. In her early 20s, her goal in life was to be a self-dependent person. When you are determining to be somebody in life, Life itself can put lots of challenges in front of you. But if you have a goal in mind, remember, where there is a will, there is a way. She loves the world of business, and as a young hustler, as many of you might be now, she left her job at American Airlines and decided to go into business for herself. One of these businesses was the creation of her own newspaper, the Chicago Latina newspaper. Fast forward to today, where she is now the senior editor of the Senior of Cicero magazine. She believes you should never stop dreaming. Our path in life is full of good things and bad things, obstacles and struggles. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mrs. Diana Dominic to the stage. Thank you, Diana.
It's an honor to be here, especially to be part of this amazing event, the Young Latina Talk. I just want to say to every one of the young contestants that today will be one winner, but at the end, just being part of this amazing nomination, to me, every one of them is already a winner. Thank you.
True that. Every one of them is a winner. Thank you, judges. Thank you for embarking on this beautiful day where we are making history today. And with that, before we kick it off and you hear directly from our Young Latinas for Young Latina Talk today, this afternoon, we have a very special message from one of our sponsors, Araceli Markowski, who is a real estate broker right here in Cicero with Su Familia Real Estate. Take it away.
Hola a todos, my name is Araceli Markowski. I'm a real estate broker, and I'm very excited to be part of this amazing event, and I cannot wait to hear all the Young Latinas stories. Please, if you have any questions regarding real estate, you can contact me, because everybody deserves to have their own home. Por favor, si tienen alguna pregunta de bienes raíces, me pueden contactar. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Araceli, for that. And now with that, the moment you have all been waiting for, to hear directly from our Young Latinas today. So I am super excited to introduce to you the very first speaker. Her name is Ariana Macedo, and she was born right here in Chicago, Illinois. And not long after her family moved to Berwyn, she had the opportunity to attend Berwyn South School District 100 and was awarded as Best of Berwyn finalist and the Daniel Murphy Scholarship upon her 8th grade graduation from Freedom Middle School. This gave her the opportunity to receive an all-girls private education at Trinity High School. She then continued studies as a Dean Scholar at North Central College, earning her a BA in Finance in June of 2018. Since then, she has worked towards fulfilling her goal of being a financial analyst. She had the opportunity to work with some amazing people upon graduation, including interning with the Berwyn City Hall's finance department. When that internship ended, she took on the role as an administrative assistant to the business HR department for Berwyn South School District 100 and has been on that team ever since. She has a passion for the Berwyn community, and recently she decided to run for Alderman of the 5th Ward. Wepa! With that, I'd like to start it off. Are you ready, Ariana?
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, y muchas gracias a todos for everyone that's tuning in today. The series of vertebrae extending from the skull to the pelvis. What am I? Well, first, let me to properly introduce myself. My name is Ariana Macedo. I am a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a neighbor. So what could I possibly have in common with the series of vertebrae extending from the skull
to the pelvis? Well, I am a backbone. Allow me to further explain. You see, there's always been a constant variable throughout my life, and that is my value in hard work. With hard work, I've been able to create opportunities, as well as be fortunate enough to have opportunities present themselves. Just like the opportunity I have here today to share just a piece of my story with the rest of you. So thank you, Young Latina Talks. I am currently a running candidate for 5th Ward Alderman of Berwyn. It was a decision I had made long ago. And now that I think about it, it was more of a promise that if the opportunity ever presented itself, I would take it. I would run. And I promise I'm not going to stand here and give you my entire platform speech, because that would be well over my time. But there is one question that has continuously come up during my course of canvassing, and that is, why you? Why you, Ariana? You're so young. And my response up until this point has remained the same. Why not me? Why not a young Latina as your older woman? You see, the way I see it is, I have seized an opportunity that not many people will come across, an opportunity that not many young Latina women will come across. You see, throughout transitions in our life, we serve numerous roles. Some of us serve numerous roles on a day-to-day basis. My role at this very moment is that of a support system. I am a backbone. From the work I do in an office for Berwyn South School District, to being a daughter and a sister at home with my family, to when I'm amongst my friends, and hopefully one day to my community. I am the representation that currently lacks in these legislative roles, and it matters. It matters because there are numerous women who do not have an established voice of their own. They either don't have the capabilities or the establishment of having a role for themselves, whether that's because someone has established a role for them to fulfill, or they have no choice but to turn to where their responsibilities lie, and factors that are out of their control. There are women who presume that they can't achieve something greater because they don't see it actively happening. These women are my why. Being in the room isn't enough anymore. We need to be at the table, a part of the conversation, just as much as anyone else deserves to be. Because we have ideas, we have opinions, and most importantly, we have an unfiltered voice. So if there is anything that I leave you with today, it's this: create your opportunities. If an opportunity presents itself, seize it. If you have an opportunity, get involved. If you have the opportunity, vote and be heard. Do it with courage, do it with grace, but be unapologetic. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Wow, pretty powerful. I agree. We need to have our voices heard, and we need to bring a seat to the table. We have great ideas. Thank you for that. And with that, I'd like to introduce our very next young Latina, Alondra Villa. Alondra Villa is a co-director of Diversity Artistries and hopes through this business, the community will come together and experience real art. They hope to let everyone's inner artist come to life. She does part-time photography and is an inspiring poet. She doesn't want to toot her own horn, but, you know, toot toot. She is a proud graduate of Morton Heath High School, which is our venue today. Thank you, Morton Heath High School, once again. And she loves writing. She hopes to be an author one day, and she hopes that everyone reads her story. But for today, you're going to hear her story. Thank you.
The day came when I died. Well, not technically, because you can see me standing here before you, right? It's not like I'm a ghost or anything. But in my own childlike innocence, I did die. I was 14. The words antiphospholipid meant nothing to me until I found out my days were numbered. What I have is known as a silent killer. You couldn't walk up to me and say, Ponte Vicks, toma 7-Up, or sana, sana, colita de rana. No, there's no cure for this. What I have hurt me so much. Sometimes being strong is your only option. Never quite understood that quote till I lied on a hospital bed New Year's Eve, my mom turning to me with tears in her eyes. Happy New Year, mija. I could have avoided it. You see, I could have saved myself and my family's heartache if I had just taken better care of my body. We Latinos love to party, and we have cookouts like crazy. We have carne asada, arroz y frijoles, flautas, sodas, tacos, enchiladas. I mean, the list is endless with our fried foods. Many of us aren't swimming in cash, so what do? We make friends with the store owners and hope that they'll give us a discount by calling them, "Hey, primo, ¿qué pasó, eh? Family discount, right? You know how it is." Stuff like this is why I'm not surprised many of us are dealing with health problems. Hispanics have more than a 50% chance of developing type 2 diabetes. Many of us will develop this at a young age. It doesn't matter how old you are, your race, your gender, sexual orientation, none of it. Diseases do not discriminate. Shouldn't this click something inside you? I was told to shut up and smile by an adult, a teacher who didn't know my full story. Knocking on death's door is nothing to smile at. Seeing the pain in my mother's eyes hurts. It hurt so much, and I wanted to be better. I was tired of being labeled weak and fragile, and I knew I had to make a change. In 2 hours' time, I could have died. Because this was headed straight from my heart and my brain. It traveled from my leg to my chest and into my lungs. Gracias a Dios, thank God, I'm still here. I was tired of it. Ya me cansé. I woke up one morning and decided to actually wake up and open my eyes. This is the day I'm going to change. I will no longer be labeled sick, delicate. I was not going to let this dictate my life anymore. This disease is not who I am. I am stronger than this. I know I am. The lemons life kept throwing at me became more and more sour. and giving up became a constant temptation. But I was on a mission. I was on a mission to take back my life. I was on a mission to beat this incurable illness, and I won. I won. I am standing here before you today. I won. It doesn't matter what you go through. It matters how well you deal with it. Life isn't easy. The road to recovery isn't easy, but you have to go that route. I know it's easier said than done, but it's the truth. I am living proof. Si se puede. You can do it. I'm a survivor, a fighter, a leader. I am Alondra Noelia Villa. This disease does not define me. Grow through what you go through. This is my story. What's yours? Thank you.
I'm glad to see you here today, Alondra. You're right, your disease does not define you. So young and so wise. Thank you for sharing that. And with that, I would like to talk about our very next speaker. Carla Castellanos is currently a sophomore at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. She is currently studying political science, and after college, her career goals are to study law, work for a political campaign, and help undocumented DACA, temporary protective status students, achieve higher education. She's currently an outreach coordinator at an educational website on Instagram that helps undocumented students get access to resources and scholarships to achieve higher education called Undocumentor. She also owns a small business called Carla's Sweet Shop, where she creates chocolate-covered strawberries for any occasion. Her hobbies include boxing, roller skating, and reading. That's kind of clever. She'll knock you out, and then she'll give you a chocolate-covered strawberry to sweeten you up. So without further ado, Carla Castellanos.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Hello, my name is Carla Castellanos, and I welcome you today to the Young Latina Talks by today's Inspire Latina. I want to thank the Yoshida Academy, today's Inspire Latina, and my mother for being the strongest woman I know. Have you ever felt excited moving to a new town or a new city? Perhaps not. But if you're like me, you love to experience new things. You see, you might like to try new foods, meet new people, and have these experiences, and that's how I felt when I transferred to the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. A few months ago, like every college student, we had to move into campus. And I thought that my experience was going to go a little bit different. I thought the first week I was gonna have all these friends and I was going to meet new people, all while social distancing, of course, attend Zoom meetings, and I was gonna be in an episode of Friends. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. You see, when I moved into my apartment this fall, the first week before starting classes, I stayed in my apartment. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't meet new people. I stayed there, and I had felt something very unusual, something that I've never felt before. I felt lonely. You see, I've never felt lonely in my life. I'm a part of the Cicero community for 2 years now, and I've been I've been a resident for 13 years in Chicago. So I always felt like I was with my people. I never felt alone. And once I moved to Urbana-Champaign, I understood that this was part of my growth. So I decided to go out after that week and explore campus, right? I visited the Union, and I visited the gym, and I visited the quad. And the quad is this big green area where students hang out and talk. And once I was walking through those streets, and as I walked through in Green Street, where there's a bunch of stores and restaurants, and students like to walk on, kind of like Michigan Avenue, but for Urbana-Champaign, I felt something else that was very unusual. I felt like I didn't belong. You see, I had culture shock. And I also felt imposter syndrome. You know, imposter syndrome is the psychological pattern of believing that the achievements and the talents that you have been a fraud. I didn't see people like me in that university. I felt alone. But once I went back to my apartment and I stayed there, I realized I did belong there. I belonged to be in that four-year institution just like anybody else. Because sometimes it's easy to forget the sleepless nights, the nights where all you've done is wake up, go to school, go back home, eat, go to work, come back home, do homework, and go to sleep. Repeatedly for 2 years. So I invite you that whenever you feel out of place, whenever you feel like you don't belong, whenever you feel like your achievements have been handed to you, or you feel like you hadn't really achieved them, please remember. Remember your effort. Remember all you've done to get there. Because trust me, you are good enough. And to all my first generation students, college students, please remember that you belong there. You belong in university. And you will get that degree. Thank you.
I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that coming up on stage and speaking and sharing your stories is hard. And doing it with a mask the whole time is even harder. So I really just want to commend our speakers who have come forth so far and the ones who are yet to come, because this is not easy, and you guys are forging through. So, sí se puede, and I'm so proud of you, young ladies. And with that, I'd like to introduce our very next young speaker today. Ángela Campos is a junior attending Carroll University and is studying Spanish and public health to improve the future of her own community. Starting her undergraduate career, she took it upon herself to be a leader on campus and to be a voice for those who may not have one. Angela has attained leadership experience by earning roles as a resident assistant and serving as the president of a student organization for mentoring high schoolers. Additionally, she is an active serving member for the executive board of the Latin American Student Organization and is a member of Gamma Alpha Omega Sorority, Inc., her university's first multicultural student Greek organization on campus. When asked, why have so many positions? Ángela answers, very simple. It is to see more students of color in leadership positions and to give a voice to those who are underrepresented. She believes it is crucial to see diversity in leadership positions. Students that are underrepresented deserve to give their input and to be heard. And Ángela's hopes is to inspire others to pull up a seat at the table and to help cultivate change. Thank you.
Thank you. Imagine your first interpretation of a leader. Was it someone who motivated you or someone who inspired you? Was it someone you were close to or someone you saw as an authority figure in our society? Now I want you to think about the first time you ever saw a leader, the first time you were ever face to face. Was that person in the dominant race in our society, or were they the minority? And the first time you ever saw a leader, did they look like you? My name is Angela Campos, and I'm a student leader of change. And today I'll be discussing the importance of maintaining true to one's culture while being in leadership positions. Now, I ask you to think back and to recall the first time you saw a leader and the first interpretations you had, because our interpretations change as we get older. We broaden our horizons, we meet new people, and we develop new thoughts. As you can see, I'm a brown, short Latina. There's no discretion to anybody. But these groups that I identify as, society has told me that I cannot be a leader. Society has told me that Latinas are meant to be on the bottom because we are not meant to be on the top. Society has told me that women should have their bocas cerradas because we are not meant to speak our voice. And that is not true. So having all these ideals, having all these thoughts from society, I never thought that I could be a leader. When I was growing up, I saw leaders as those lighter skinned than me, those who didn't have trouble distinguishing English and Spanish because that's all they heard at home. I had thoughts that could I ever be a leader because I don't look like anybody who is a leader? Now, once I was ready to become a leader, I had society's views in my head and also the views of others. Views such as, you can never be a leader. You're a Latina, you're Hispanic, you're meant to be on the bottom, and that's where you belong. I had thoughts in my head saying, should I even try? Do I really think I can be a leader? Should I save myself from the embarrassment, the pain that I'm gonna get from others? And I thought to myself, are Latinos really meant to be on the bottom? Now, when I was ready to be a leader, I started my undergraduate career, and I was so excited. Your undergraduate career, people say you find people who look like you see staff members, you see faculty, and I found myself in a predominantly white institution, which meant I was the minority again. I was at the bottom. So it was so hard for me to find those student leaders, so hard for me to find those staff members, but I did. I found them, and they inspired me. They inspired me not only by their words, but by the pride they had of their culture, by the pride that they show, I am here and I am speaking my voice. And you know what? I know you see me as a Latino, and that gives me power. I saw the pride they had, and it encouraged me to siga adelante, that I could be a leader too. The pride they had of their culture and their Latinidad is exactly what I need. It was exactly what society told me that wasn't possible. And I saw that it was. Now, I tell you this because everyone has a culture, and our culture is important. And you do not need a leadership position to be seen as a leader. Everyone is a leader. Whether you have a position or not, everyone is a leader. I guarantee there's someone looking up to you and someone who you're inspiring. And I want you to reflect into your own lives and think, am I being my true, authentic self? Or am I conforming and hiding my culture to please others? Because I don't want you to. Our culture and our history is beautiful. It's important. It needs to be brought up to the table, and that's what you need to bring. So I urge you, please, be your authentic self. Show your culture because it is beautiful and it is important. And you never know who you may be inspiring. And remember, que sí se puede. Gracias.
Sí se puede, and she just did it. Awesome. Thank you for those words, Angela. And with that, I'd like to introduce our very next speaker. Elizabeth Marie Loza is currently a senior at Cristo Rey Jesuit High School. She is currently in the Medicina Academy Apprentice Program, which helps minority students learn about the medical field. Elizabeth is a strong and intelligent young woman who aspires one day to be a doctor. She also loves music and loves to express herself through it. She's the type of person who always tries to bring people together and tries to always be there for everyone. She hopes to teach many young Latinas that they have worth and value. And no matter what anyone tells them, she'll make sure you know it. Thank you.
Would you have ever expected a 4-year-old to know her future career? Of course not. A 4-year-old doesn't even know how to add still. But they asked us when I was 4 at St. Procopius at my elementary school, and they asked us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And well, some of us answered with firemen, policemen, and in my case, Demi Lovato. We all wanted to be in Camp Rock. But I answered with a doctor. Of course, many people didn't really take me seriously. I was a 4-year-old who didn't know much and was barely learning to read. Then, 2nd grade came around, and Mrs. Reese, one of my teachers, asked us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some people's ideas changed. Some people said, president, I want to be famous, a musician, but I still had the same dream. I wanted to be a doctor. Now, you would have expected for them to start realizing that this is what I wanted to be, but they didn't take me seriously. Of course, then 8th grade graduation came around, and they asked us once again, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now, everyone started saying that they didn't have no clue what to do in their life. And that's okay, but they got to me and I said, a doctor. So they started realizing maybe what she's been saying for her time here at St. Procopius was true. I entered Cristo Rey as a freshman, kind of being shy, and at my school they have a CWSP program where we work, and I told them I want to work at a hospital, get to know the medical field more. And well, I ended up at an insurance company, which is definitely not what I wanted to do, but I fought my way through it, and I told them, next year I have to work at a hospital. And now I have an internship at Loyola Medical Center in Maywood, and I've been working there since sophomore year. Of course, I met a couple of friends who supported me, were extremely kind, but they supported me with everything but my achievements. They doubted me, they made fun of me, and they put me down a lot. But I met Medicina Academy Apprentice at UIC. It's an amazing group of Latino students who get support from a bunch of different medical students, and we get to learn, and we push each other to understand we can be the next generation of doctors. Now, being a Latina and a woman itself, many people doubted me to even be able to achieve it. But yet here we are, I'm a senior this year graduating, and I'm pursuing a career, a major in neuroscience, to be able to benefit the fellow Latino community. I went to Washington last year, and I got to speak with Dick Durbin's senator's assistant, and I really got to understand what is it that the Latino community need. We had to fight our way through, and we're strong, independent people. We shouldn't be told what to do because of society. I have come to realize it. No one determines who you are. No one defines you but yourself. And I quickly understood that. With the support of my mother, I don't even think I would be able to have done a lot of the things I am here today. And many women in my life, such as my aunts, who are currently watching, and they all told me, Elizabeth, you can do it. I'm applying to University of Chicago, one of the biggest schools, and a lot of people doubt me because of my GPA. But you know what I've told them? I don't care. And that's something everyone should have this type of feeling, because at the end of the day, you're the one to define your future and who you are and what you want to be. If someone else tells you your role, then that's not important. You should know what you want to be. If you want to be the president, go for it. No one should tell you what you don't want to do and what you should do. Especially society nowadays think women don't have the power to do anything themselves. And even then, it's given men more power than ever. Of course, I've come up and told them, no, I'm always constantly fighting with rules at school sometimes because I don't think that they're fair for us women compared to men. And I just want to be able to inspire others. If you want to get into the medical field, the science field, you can do so. Just because there isn't enough of people that look like you or are like you doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to achieve it. Because at the end of the day, you're setting the ground for other young Latinas to be able to aspire. My goal just here today is to have many other young Latinas to understand you can pursue a medical field and a science field, and many people will be here for you, even myself. Thank you.
I have no doubt we'll be calling her Doctora Losa soon. Awesome. All right, with that, we're ready for our next speaker. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Emily Abril Bastida was born in Mexico City to a wonderful Mexicana by the name of Monica Molina. She is a documented Latina. She has been honored to work in the legal field at the young age of 20. One of her major accomplishments was being a Dream U.S. recipient. And thanks to foundations and organizations like these, she has received a lot of support, and that prompted her to start her own podcast and YouTube called Chingona Law. Chingona Law talks about how she has navigated through university and plans to navigate through law school. The topics will include networking, how to do videos of basic legal documents, Latinx history, reviews of cases, and other important topics. I welcome Emily Bastida.
Gracias for the kind introduction. Y'all know my name already. Like I said, I am a documented Latina. I just got released from the hospital about 2 weeks ago because I'm going to say it out loud because I just got diagnosed to be becoming bipolar. I want to introduce my Young Latina talk, mostly talk more about my latest hobby, Chingona Law LLC. When I was crying back there because I feel the power here with my Latinas in here. I feel it, and I'm an emotional person. And I felt it. Some of the judges here come from Mexico City like myself. And I don't know. Like I said, I just got out of the hospital, so I don't have a lot of prepared, but I want to talk about Chingona Law and about my mother. My mother, my family. I come from Mexico City, and I identified from the barrio. I am from the barrio. I was molested as a child, and I took it to court in Mexico. When any of you have ever felt a place where you call home, I feel that when I go to the courtroom. I go to that, I'm not supposed to be going there yet, because I'm not even in law school yet. But you feel the power, you feel so much, you see so many people there of color. And that's what Chingona Law is basically made of. And I made Chingona Law because I don't qualify for FAFSA, unfortunately. But thanks to the Dream.us, I have gotten my undergraduate paid, and I plan on making Chingona Law, make YouTube tutorials, and we wish that I can win the scholarship because I have so many goals, and if I do not, I've been applying for more credit cards because this is an only funded thing, and there's not many YouTubers out there that want to share this stuff that I do because thankfully I have networked a lot. I see my sister Samantha here. Hi Samantha. Shout out to you. Shout out to you because you come from Mexico. Well, you come from Mexico too, and you haven't been here that long. And look at you, sister. You already host a radio show. I love you. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of my Latinas. And in Chingona Law, we were going to talk about what happened to all the children. What's going on? The detention centers, what is going on in there? All these children, what happened to my sister, Vanessa Guillen? She was raped. She was raped, I'll say that, and she was killed. What happened to Breonna Taylor? Chingona Law and this talk right now, I want to dedicate it to all my trabajadores out there, my immigrant trabajadores. Right now, I'm working as I've worked as a legal assistant, like I was introduced to, and they didn't know about the Sylvia Mendez versus Westminster case that I have talked about in my YouTube channel, and I will link everything up, all of my research. I've talked about the Fifth Amendment, right? We all know that one. But do we know about the case from that? You guys should watch my YouTube videos, and I will have my own merch. I've already trademarked everything. I took it all on my credit card, and I'm in a lot of debt. I only have like $10 to my real name, not my family's name. And even after this talk, I'm gonna go sell pambazos, because that's how we have to do it in this country. We have to hustle, and we have to work hard. Although I will become a person who, hopefully, I go to law school, and I've been told, Emily, why are you doing your podcast and YouTube video? You shouldn't be doing this. You already are set for life because of your trauma, because of your great achievements. Why are you doing more work? And I tell them, there's not many people like me. There's not many documented activists. I actually got put into the mental health hospital because I'm very outspoken, and I got labeled as bipolar. I don't know if I'm bipolar yet. I haven't been really put through that stuff yet, but I take my mental health medications as I should be. And actually, I'm planning a major lawsuit against the hospital because the staff were very racist to me. And I warned them that this was gonna happen. I warned them that I will be put in if they see me right now, I told you guys, I'm sorry, but I warned you guys that this was gonna happen. Last week, I was put in a mental health hospital. I got injected medication because I was not sleeping well. But I guess it's just all that drive that I have, all that power that is going. Like I said, I will be talking about things that happen, like the feminicide in Ciudad Juárez. I will be talking about law cases, how I've navigated, how I plan to navigate law school, everything will be documented there. I want to shout out to my mom. Mamá, si estás viendo, desafortunadamente no puedo estar aquí. Gracias por todo lo que has hecho por mí, because I come from a single parent, a single mom. I had to grow up real quick in Mexico City. And here, when I immigrated here through, we first came to New York. Mamá sabe toda la historia. My mom and I could have qualified for BAWA and BZU had we known about law, had we not gone through a lot of domestic violence in New York City. But that's why I make Chingona Law for. And I see that all of them, the beautiful judges, all the Latinas, when we first started, I said a prayer for all of us. So whoever gets to win wins. But yeah, like I've gone through so much in my life, and in such 22 years that I've gone into my life, I want to empower women. It's female empowerment in my podcast. And like I said, I have my own merchandise coming up. I will have my own mask. I just don't have the funds for it right now. And I wish that anybody who sees my talk today feels empowered. Like I said, I dedicate it to my future clients, immigration, because I want to open up my own law firm, immigration and insurance firm. I dedicate this to you guys, and I say a prayer to you guys. I dedicate everything to the farm workers that are working right now with low pay. I dedicate to the imprisoned people that one day will be my clients. Right now, you guys are in cages. I dedicate it to the children, to everybody out there. I dedicate it to God because He's the only man I trust. Like I said, I come from a single parent family. Mi papá, desafortunadamente, lo único que me dio fue su apellido. No quiso, ya se deshizo de mí, no quiso saber nada de mí, nada. Le agradezco también eso porque él, bueno, una vez él dijo que él pensaba que era una basura. Yo no pienso que es basura, y si mi familia de México está viendo esto, nada más díganle que lo quiero mucho, pero que su niña ya creció y está superándose y está ayudando. sorry, I might cry. Está superando y ayudando a mucha gente. Y piensa seguir ayudando a mucha gente. I hope that everybody enjoys my talk. Like I said, this is kind of improv because I just got hospitalized and I don't really have that much time. But I just want to shout out my Young Latina Talks, and I want to thank everybody from the Dream.us. I want to thank my mentors. I want to thank everybody who's watching this. And this is improv, so thank you all. And I hope you guys become chingones, and chingonex in my YouTube channel. And buy my merch so I can support myself for law school. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Emily. All right, I think we're ready for our next speaker. So with that, I'd like to introduce Marisol Nunez. Marisol Nunez is a current senior at Morton East High School. I wonder where that's at. Right where we're at today. That's awesome. She is involved in multiple sports and clubs. She is an avid runner, and in her junior year, she was actually considered a leader in her cross-country team because she's also doing great things like becoming an officer. She was an officer of the National Honor Society here at Morton, and she does countless hours of community service because she loves giving back to her community. She's a very hard worker, which has enabled her to achieve a 4.5 GPA and is determined to go very far in life. Once she graduates, she hopes to move to California for college. She is currently a finalist for a scholarship called POSE, which could pay her full tuition for the next 4 years. If she gets accepted, she intends to study science due to her love of nature and has a desire to help find ways to help global warming and climate change and to make a positive impact in the world one day. She also has an adorable little bulldog that she named Princess. Thank you.
Have you ever felt fearful of doing something that you really, really wanted to do, but did it in spite of that fear? My name is Marisol Nunez. I am a senior here at Morton East High School, and this is my story. Growing up was hard. I lived in a single-parent home with an older sister and my mom, who worked long 12-hour shifts. Because of that, I didn't really get to build that emotional connection I really desired. In elementary school, I was really insecure. I was overweight, I had crooked teeth, and I had a lot of it took me a lot of work learning English. Once I got to high school, everything changed. I started to join sports such as cross country, which helped me lose that weight that made me insecure. And I also joined clubs, which made me more social. That got me to where I am today. One day, I was at the principal's office, and I was turning in a permission slip, and then I saw a paper right next to the secretary that said, "Run for homecoming princess." I stared at it for a very long time. In my mind, I was thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? But I took it just in case I decided to do it. And that very small action of taking that piece of paper changed my life completely. That day was the day I made a decision, and that decision got me to win Homecoming Princess. It's not even about being Homecoming Princess. It was the action. I was really scared to do it, just like I am right now. But taking those chances are gonna get you far in life. After high school, I went to go to California. I know it's gonna be hard going across the country all by myself, with no one next to me. But I am willing to do that decision to get to where I want to be in life. I have always liked science. I have always liked nature. I am very adventurous. Once I get to college, I want to study something with science that will help with climate change and global warming. I want to do that because I care a lot about the environment. Did you guys know that in New York there's a clock that says how much time we have left on the earth, and it says 7 years? Hopefully one day I can make an impact. My point here is that I want to inspire you. I want you guys to be fearful, all of you guys. Be fearful and do what makes you happy. Never be scared to do any decision. If a decision is in front of you, you should take it, regardless. I know it will be hard, and I know it's scary, and you can get nervous and get anxiety or whatever, but it'll just make you a bigger person. Be happy, be fearless, and I promise you that it'll be worth it. Because if you don't take it, you'll regret it. And remember, sí se puede.
So young, so fearful, and yet so wise. Thank you for that. And our next speaker is Suhaili Vega. Every story has a beginning. And Suhaili's story starts in Elgin, Illinois. At the age of 8, she was relocated to Puerto Rico. And while in high school, she worked with her father on his Mexican food truck. And in 2018, she was crowned Miss Bilingüe, which was from her school, Alcides Figueroa Bilingual School, before she graduated in 2020. Becoming Miss Bilingüe actually made her an ambassador of the school, and she graduated with high honors. In school, she participated in several organizations, including the Nassau Club, and served as president of the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America organization. And this fall, she was actually accepted to one of the best universities on La Isla del Encanto. It is La Universidad de Puerto Rico, Recinto de Mayagüez, better known as El Colegio, and is pursuing a bachelor's degree in psychology. She also serves as an active volunteer for a not-for-profit organization dear to my heart, the Autism Hero Project, that serves children with autism. And today, she would like to dedicate her Latina talk to her father, Elvin, and her brother, Elvin Jr., who is presently serving our country in the United States Marine Corps. Welcome, Suhaili.
Growing up, life wasn't perfect. I grew up in a tough environment. I was always worried of not having food the next day, porque la nevera siempre estaba pelada, meaning the refrigerator was always empty. We had little money and bills to pay. My brothers took the street life as a resource of income. Every day was a struggle and a half to just try and survive. My brother Junior, who was not about that street life, always protected me the best he could. We were just children who acted grown for our own survival. My mother was barely around, which made it harder for us. One day, my mother left. Time went by and no sign of her. I was completely shattered and heartbroken. We all thought that something bad had happened, till one day, she appeared on the steps of our house. She looked tired and scared. She started to say how sorry she was for not being there, for not accepting the role of a mother. It seemed as if she was full of remorse. After a while of deep conversation, she took a bath and laid in bed. The next morning, she was nowhere to be found. It was like the bed had swallowed her. She left without a trace. Yet again, we thought that she had changed. My brothers and I feared that one day she might never come back. It was a hard realization as a 6-year-old child, and I often wondered what she thought when she'd do this to us. During those moments, I felt deserted and scared. I felt scared because I didn't know what my reaction would be when she came back. If she came back. Would it be happy, sad, mad, or would I even have felt anything at all? My brothers would tell me she left us to go party and live her life as she would have in her 20s, despite she was nearly 40. So many questions went through my mind. Questions such as, what mother would do that to her children? Why did she have us anyway? Am I not good enough? What 6-year-old child thinks about being good enough? I wonder what made me think that way. Those thoughts haunted me. I couldn't sleep at night thinking about them. They invaded my privacy. She suddenly decided she wanted to change. She desired to be in the life of her 6 children. We were all still skeptical and wondered if this time it was for real. We would ask ourselves, why now? What made her change? Who made her change? I remember watching her cook in the kitchen and asking her, why were you gone for so long? She then pretended not to hear me, so I left it alone. To this day, I think about those moments where I felt alone, and this is why I'm a psychologist in the making. We need to get past the ideology of lo que pasa en la casa se queda en la casa, meaning what happens at home stays at home. We need to break the silence. Early life adversity is a major risk factor in psychological problems in adults later in life, such as depression, suicide, anxiety, PTSD, y ya tú sabes, todo lo demás. People need to know that it's okay not to be okay, but that you don't have to go through it alone. The world right now is in the middle of a mental health crisis, and there is no health without mental health. So for my parents watching, and for those aspiring to be parents one day, your actions matter. What you do affects us. And for that, I am thankful for my father. He has always been there for us. After a long custody battle, he eventually won and took us to our forever home in La Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico. All in all, I am grateful for both of my parents. They have taught me great life lessons. Even though to this day my relationship with Mommy isn't the best, I still respect and care for her. I am Suhaili Vega. Thank you.
Huepa, you know what they say about la gente de la Isla del Encanto, huh? Wow. Okay, so I think we're ready for our next speaker. How about you guys? I am excited to share that Marlene Medina is 24 years old, and she is a graduate from the University of St. Francis with a bachelor's in business administration and accounting. She is currently finishing her first year as a staff accountant at Warner Rogers, Doran and Rousson, a full-service CPA firm in Joliet. Marlene is a member of Delta Mu Delta, the American Institute of CPAs, and the Association of Latina Professionals for America. She is also currently attending Joliet Junior College part-time to be able to sit for the CPA exam next year. She likes to spend her free time with her friends and family, and she also enjoys volunteering in the community through her Girl Scout troop, where she gets to be a part of shaping and upbringing some of the best girls in the community. And with that, I'd like to welcome Marlene.
Thank you.
So, I'd first like to start by saying it is an absolute honor to share this stage with these 11 amazing young Latinas. Like we said before, I think it's fair to say that we are all winners already. So, my name is Marlene. I am one of 47 million immigrants here in the United States. And this is the story of how what I always thought was my biggest weakness actually turned out to be my biggest strength. Growing up, I wasn't fully aware of my immigration status. It wasn't until I entered high school that I noticed I was different. 16 signifies an important age for us here in Illinois. It means we can get our driver's license. Well, for me, 16 signified the year I became aware of my reality. As my friends started to get their driver's license, I rushed home one night and I asked my mom, "Mom, when can we go get my license?" She looked at me and sat me down and explained my situation. I was undocumented, which meant I couldn't get a driver's license, I couldn't get a job, and I could not apply for FAFSA, which made my dream of attending college nearly impossible, coming from a family of 6 with one source of income. How was I supposed to start my life in a place that I called home, yet it rejected me in every way possible? To 16-year-old Marlene, being an immigrant meant shame. I oppressed my own culture, fearing that my peers would know I was an immigrant if I acted too Mexican. I even rejected my parents. Why would they bring us to this foreign land where we were not accepted? Then, on August 2012, my life and the life of 826,000 young adults changed. Deferred Action of Childhood Arrivals, better known as DACA, was introduced. I remember my mom rushing my older sister and I to our lawyer. While I did not fully understand what was going on, I knew it was a moment of celebration. I could feel my mom's excitement. And so my journey began. I had this unexplainable fire ignite within me. I was given an opportunity and I was not going to let it go to waste. I was given an opportunity and I was not going to let it go to waste. So I got my driver's license, I got a job, and I started my credit. And while I still did not qualify for FAFSA, I now had a job that could make my dream of attending college a reality. For 5 years, I juggled school, work, and my own personal life. And let me tell you, it was anything but easy. But every time things did get a little tough, I would look at my mom and I would look at my dad. And I reminded myself that the blood that was pumping through my veins was not only mine, but theirs, and those of our ancestors and our future generation, and it would fuel my fire all over again. See, somewhere between being a daughter, a sister, a student, and a Latina working woman, I realized that everything I needed, I already had within me. And so, with all odds against me, I made my dream a reality, and I became a first-generation college graduate. I think we all share this fire. While the United States is not our homeland, our parents or our parents' parents migrated here to give us an opportunity that they never had. We know pain, we know struggles, and we know sacrifices because of them. But we also know strength, we know courage, and we know determination. We all have this within us. It's in our DNA. So I encourage you to find that courage, find that strength, and find that determination, and keep going. Because like our very own Jackie Camacho says, taking off is optional, but landing on our dreams, that is mandatory. I always thought that being an immigrant was my biggest downfall. Well, in reality, it has been my biggest motivation. My name is Marlene Medina,
I am a Mexican immigrant, and I have never said that prouder. Thank you.
I think Marlene just proved that being different is actually good. Yes, amen. Our next speaker is Nicole Denise Barajas. She's a 19-year-old who is currently a sophomore at the University of Illinois at Chicago. She is majoring in political science with a concentration in pre-law. She grew up in the Pilsen community, which is a predominantly Latino community, and she grew up in a close familia with values of dedication, passion, love, strength, and a faith in God that fueled her ability to take on life. She continues to devote her life to the community services that she does as part of the Church of St. Procopius Church in Pilsen. She volunteers as a lecturer for Sunday service, and she is part of Iscali, a youth organization where Iscali means aspires to create the next generation of spirit-filled, transformative leaders. Let's listen to our transformative leader next.
Hello, thank you for that lovely introduction. First off, I want to thank everyone for being here and everyone for taking the time to view. Everyone at home, thank you so much for taking time. So, I invite you all to take a moment, open your hearts, and open your minds. I'm going to tell you a little story about a girl I once knew. Her name was Little Nikki. Little Nikki had a lot of experiences and a lot of choices in life. For what? 2012 hits, mom and dad separate. Where are we? We're finding ourselves in a whole new area where what? Our color, our skin is different. I remember going to middle school and discovering my love for being involved. Middle school was the year, well, the course of time where I was ready. I was ready to want to volunteer. I was ready to make good choices for my future. But what? We all experience things and we all go through choices, good and bad. So for me, my experiences were a little bit more different. I had a blended family con cultura mexicana, raíces y valores mexicanos fuertes. My family was blended. Since my parents were divorced, I lived with my father's family, but one special person that always stood out for me was my grandmother. Mi nana, she has been my biggest Wonder Woman. So, for many of those who know me or don't know me, for me, power and choice is what makes us and what breaks us. We have the power to choose who we want to be in life, and if that sometimes means having to tell our culture, having to tell our family, hey, let the cord go a little bit. It's time for me to venture out. In my life, I experienced one of my most tragic losses, which was my grandma passing away this last December. For me, it was, I think, a strong negative, but what? We're supposed to see it in a positive. For me, it was my fuel. It was the opportunity that gave me to get involved, to make the choices of, hey, I don't want to be depressed, I don't want to feel sad. What did my mom teach me? What did Nana teach you? She taught you to go forward, to push yourself, to motivate, to be somebody in life. So I took that choice. I got involved in church, which was the best way that I found connected to her. I focused what was important for school. I put in that work that I needed to, and right now I see myself in my shoes. I'm here because I made the decision to do good for myself, to keep on pushing forward. And one thing that I can tell you is, don't let your skin color, your hair color, your background, your family define you. Be different. A veces es la oveja negra. Be different. Go out. Don't be like everybody else that your family wants you to be or that your friends want you to be. Go out there and do something different. If you're into sports, if you're into clubs, if you're into music, be different about it. Don't be like everyone else who wants to fit in, because I bet you that everybody else that wants to fit in wants to be unique in their own way. So you do it. Be unique. Stand out. Raise your hand. Say, I know the answer. Be that person that you want to be. Be that person that you're proud to be. If you ask me if I was proud a year ago of myself, I would say, no, I'm not. Because what? I wasn't making the choices that I needed to go and push forward. In high school, if you asked me, are you happy where you're at? I would have said, yes. I was involved in everything, from polo to senior board to the highest honors of classes. But what? In our journey, we experience things and we make choices. Our life is gonna go up and down. There's gonna be times where you're at your highest and that you're lowest. Right now, I feel that I am working on my journey to be at my highest. I am working to get that degree to be able to take to my grandmother's grave and say, this is for you. Be the person that you want to be. Be that person that you're proud of. Today, if I can tell you one thing, and if you're gonna leave with one idea, is to make the choice for yourself. Don't make it for your mom, don't make it for your dad. Live for you. Yes, living for your family is important. Yes, living for your culture is important. For one thing, you are a backbone. You are a person needed in your family, in your friend group, in life, in society. You matter. Know that every choice you make affects your life and your offspring to society. Make that be a good offspring. Make society know you. If it's for a simple thing of having a beautiful art piece or changing revolution in history, be that change. Have faith in yourself. But one thing is that remember, you can't stand alone. As much as you may want to stand alone, you need support. So don't be that person that says, I could do everything by myself. Yeah, you could do it, but you need support. Network yourself. Grow. That's the only way our journey is going to progress, is if we grow, we network. Be that change. Be that voice. Do it for yourself. So before I finish and I conclude, yes, I'm here for myself, but I'm here because of my family, because of my friends, and because of every important person that told me, you couldn't do it. Thank you, because you telling me that, you fueled me, you fueled my battery to keep on going and to prove you wrong that, hey, I'm here. I'm doing something good for my life. So take those choices, be different, have faith in yourself, but always thank the ones that were there for you. Always thank the ones that had your back. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Nicole, I'm sure your abuelita is very proud of you right now. And we are on our final speaker. Last but definitely not least, I'd like to introduce you to our next speaker, an Afro-Latina by the name of Tatiana Hart. Tatiana possesses the ability to show up with authenticity, vulnerability, and courage. Her volunteer work began at the age of 12, sharing her gifts of organization, communication, and event facilitation alongside of her mother while hosting activities for youth and military families. Tatiana was a guest speaker at Make Tomorrow Your Present conference hosted by the Fig Factor Foundation. As founder of Rain Investment Groups, Tatiana is committed to empowering minority millennials and Gen Zs to create Wow, this is pretty inspirational. Generational wealth, so young and already so wise. Tatiana is a graduate of West Aurora High School, class of 2018, and entering her second year at Wabanzi Community College. She is currently pursuing a professional financial certification with the Illinois Tax Training Institute while balancing her work and, wow, she does a lot, working as a tax professional at JP Green and Associates. Tatiana's interests and hobby include fintech, health and wellness, and public speaking, and is an inspiring author. I welcome Tatiana.
Forks and spoons, shoes and socks, finances and relationships. You may be wondering how these things are related. The divorce rate in our country today is over 50%, and the number one cause for divorce is over financial disagreements. My name is Tatiana Hart. I'm an aspiring financial entrepreneur studying finance and accounting in college. Now, I have a couple of questions for you guys. When was the last time you evaluated your personal relationships? How about this? When was the last time you evaluated your spending habits? Did you know that only 36% of Americans check their bank account balance every day? According to goodtherapy.org, money is connected to three things in our lives: our relationships, our emotions, and our core beliefs. This is why I personally believe how we manage our relationships with people and how we manage our relationships with money are two sides of the same coin. So if you're anything like me, you probably need to check your balance. From my own personal experience, being an Afro-Latina, we as minorities do not discuss financial literacy and mental health enough. I want you to imagine what your life would be like if you treated yourself the same way you treat your finances. We have a financial deficit when it comes to our own understanding on how we are supposed to spend our money, save our money, and invest our money. Unfortunately, we were not able to learn about it in schools, and rarely it is spoken about in our homes, which causes us to acquire debt in our future. Sadly but true, we will end up making these same mistakes when it comes to our relationships. We do not invest enough time and energy in ourselves, but rather invest time and energy into other people, causing us to acquire emotional debt. So what is emotional debt? Well, let me share my story. In 2018, I graduated high school. I had a great job, I had my own car, and I felt financially independent. But most importantly, I had a plan for my future. But for some reason, I still desired for more. So one day, I just put it out in the universe that I was finally ready for my change. And all of a sudden, boom, I got into a car accident. A car accident that almost killed myself and the other driver. I lost my job, I lost my car, but most importantly, I lost my sense of purpose. But for 5 months, I was paralyzed with fear. But during that time, I was able to reflect over my year. And the number one thing that I learned was I had spent my entire emotional balance. I spent it on my relationships and my job and the luxurious things that I thought I needed in my life. But when the time finally came that I needed that energy to provide for myself, it was no longer there. That was when I realized I was in emotional debt. So let's check our balance. In school, we learn about math and science and language arts, but financial literacy and emotional health was never taught to us. It is our responsibility now to educate ourselves on how to become financially intelligent, to know the basics of finance, to know how to budget, to know how to spend our money, but most importantly, to know how to keep ourselves out of debt or get ourselves out of debt. The same terminology applies when it comes to our relationships. It is our responsibility to know how much energy we can give and how much energy we can take. But the most important rule in life is to learn how to forgive your debtors. Thank you.
So young and so wise. And it's so appropriate that she talks about what schools teach and what schools don't, because I'm ready to introduce the superintendent of Morton East High School and the district. So with that, let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Tim Truesdale. He is the superintendent at J. Sterling Morton High School, District 201. He is proud to be a member of the Mustang family since 2011 and grateful to be part of a professional learning community with a laser focus on the mission that every student succeeds. District 201 was awarded AP District of the Year in 2016 by the College Board and named Model PLC District in 2017 by Solution Tree and became a Microsoft Showcase District this year in 2020. Dr. Truesdale has served as a classroom, school, and district leader and has focused on increasing the collective efficacy of his staff to have an even greater impact on student learning. His goal is to use resources in responsible and innovative ways to provide students superior curriculum and instruction to graduate with the skills, confidence, and experience to fulfill their college and career goals. And with that, I'd like to bring Superintendent Dr. Truesdale to the stage. Thank you.
Estoy nervioso. Agradezco mucho la oportunidad de escuchar sus historias hoy y estamos muy orgullosos de ustedes. Tengo una hija de 17 años también y las características que muestran hoy son las que mi esposa y yo queremos enseñar a nuestra hija. 3 words of encouragement I would give to you today, and so many of them come from your stories already, so I know that these are things that are already within you. The first, be confident in who you are. Just a little story that illustrates that I always remember. There was a child in first grade, and she was working on a drawing, and her teacher came to her and looked at the drawing she was making and told her how beautiful it was. And she told her daughter, "You should be an artist someday." And the little girl, she told her student she should be an artist someday, and the little girl looked at her teacher and she said, "I'm an artist now." The second thing is, show up. Just like you showed up today, just like you show up in all the things that we've been describing that you're accomplishing already in your lives, continue to show up. This is a brief story about myself. I really wanted to be a high school English teacher, and my second year out of college, there was a school that I really wanted to work at, and I didn't get called for an interview. But a friend of mine who taught at that school told me that they were going to be interviewing for English teachers on a particular day, and I showed up. And the principal came out of his office after one of the interviews, and he asked, "Can I help you?" And I said, "My name's Tim Truesdale, and I'm here to interview for an English teaching position." And he said, "Well, we don't have you on our list." And I said, "I know, but I'd like the opportunity anyway." And out of courtesy, they granted me the opportunity to interview for the job, and sure enough, the next day they offered me a position. So show up. Finally, I would encourage you to continue to give back. All the ways that you've heard the judges here give back to their communities, to their families, continue to do those things that you're already doing now. If you have the opportunity to support someone, to help make someone's life better, especially a child, please take advantage of it. I just want to once again congratulate you and thank you for your words today. They've been very inspirational. Thank you.
Gracias, Dr. Truesdale. Muy bien, muy bien. I love it. I love it when they kind of take on a new language. He's truly bilingual, huh? He just showed us that. With that, I am excited to introduce to you guys a very special treat that Dr. Truesdale has organized with the Morton Mariachi Group Club here today, right? So, stage curtains, I think, will magically open, right? You need 2 minutes? Great. How about if I take those 2 minutes to, I'm going to be signing off after this, and Gabi will be coming back on. So I just want to take these 2 minutes to say, one of the things that really stood out from what Dr. Truesdale just shared was about showing up. And I just want to share that a little over 3 years ago, actually almost 4, I showed up to today's Inspired Latina Volume 2's book launch. And that was one of the best and life-altering decisions of my life. I showed up to that book launch, and I heard all of these beautiful Latinas who looked like me, who walked in my shoes, who I could relate to, and thought to myself, if they could do it, so can I. And by showing up, I had the opportunity to meet Jackie Camacho Ruiz and join today's Inspired Latina Volume 3. And not only did that change the trajectory of my life, but it allowed me to see the beauty in my own son's story with autism. And that's the genesis of the Autism Hero Project. The Autism Hero Project's whole vision is to prepare kids with autism for the world and to prepare the world for them. And that really stirred something in my heart. And it would not be where it is today if it wasn't from the impressions and the assistance and the help that Jackie, through JJR Marketing and Fig Factor Media, has been able to help us every step of the way. So showing up is definitely important and necessary, because you never know when it will change the trajectory of your life and turn into your legacy. So I want to congratulate all of you speakers today for showing up in fear, showing up vulnerable, and having the courage to say, sí se puede. And thank you, judges. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for taking the time to be with us this afternoon over the next couple of hours. Hopefully you were all inspired. Your job is the hardest one today, and guess what? I was in your shoes just last year, and I'm glad that I'm on the other side of it. So thank you, ladies. Thank you all for showing up. And I think that they're just about ready. I got the thumbs up. So the Morton Mariachi Club.
Wow, thank you so much again, Morton Mariachi Club. Let's give him another round of applause. Wow, thank you so much. I am just feeling super excited. Welcome back. I'm back on stage. I was a little bit behind the scenes working, and it's super inspiring in any place you're at, here, at home, wherever you are. Absolutely, the energy is amazing. Thank you once again. Before we move on, I would love to invite you to view a few videos of our sponsors. Again, this event would not be possible at all without our sponsors making it possible. So I would love to introduce a few of our sponsors, BMO Harris Bank and Team Luis Ortiz Remax, for their amazing support, and so please enjoy these videos. Thank you so much, sponsors.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to what comes next and to help you with whatever your next looks like. Help you make progress and come back even better than before. How do we know it's going to be okay? Because for as long as we've been in business, we've seen what you're capable of. And as always, we've got your back. That's better.